家好，我是顾佳颖，我今天要报的是英文名著选。God save the Queen, British National Anthem. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. O Lord our God, arise, scatter our enemies, and make them fall. Confound their nation, confuse their politics. On you our hope we fix. God save the Queen. Not in nation unblown, but begun the seas known from shore to shore. Long may a nation see, they may should balance speak, and form one family, the one war all. For every lesson for upon the assassin's brought, God save the Queen. Who her line on is stand for Britain's safe defense, over the place and fend, God save the Queen. That Joseph's gifts in store on her be pleased to pour. Though may she reign, may she defend our laws, and ever give us cause to sing with heart and voice, God save the Queen. The Star Spangled Banner, USA National Anthem by Francis Scott Key. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight screaming, whose broad striped and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies were glad abound but seen in air. Gave proof through the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that Star Spangled Banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. On the shore dimly seen through the mist of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in dread silent reposes. What is there which the breeze o'er the towering steep? A sea fitfully blows, half concealed, half discloses, and catches the gleam of the morning first beam. In full glory reflecting now shines on the stream. 'Tis the Star Spangled Banner, O Lord, may it wave. For the land of the free and the home of the brave. Where is that band whose mountain is war, let the heaven of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country should lead us no more. Their blood has wiped out their powerful state pollution. No refuge could save the harried and slave from the fear of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph's wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, lost be ever when free men shall stand between the loved homes and the world's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, let the heaven rescue land, place the power that hate men and preserve us a nation. And conquer we must, for our cause is just, and this be our motto, in God is our trust. And the Star Spangled Banner forever shall wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Apollo the musician, means of grace and wrong. It is said that on a certain occasion, Pan had the temerity to compare his music with that of Apollo and to challenge the god of a lyre to a trial of skill. The challenge was accepted, and Timaeus, the mountain god, was chosen umpire, the senior to his seat, and cleared away the trees from his ear to listen. At a given signal, Pan blew on his pipes, and with his rusty melody gave great satisfaction to himself and his faithful follower Midas, who happened to be present. And Timaeus turned his head toward the sun god, and all his trees turned with him. Apollo rose, his broad wings with Panathian laurel, while his robe of Tyrian purple swept the ground. In his left hand he held a lyre, and with his right hand struck the strings. Timaeus at once awarded the victory to the lyric god, and opened Midas acquiesced in the judgment. He descended and questioned the justice of the award. Apollo promptly transformed his declared pair of ears into those of an ass. He made us try to hide his misfortune under an important burden, but his elders found it too much for his discretion to keep such a secret. He dug a hole in the ground and stooping down, whispered the story and covered it up. But a thick bag of reeds springing up in the meadow began whispering the story, and has continued to do so from day to this every time breeze passes over the prey. The sun god and sunflower made of grace and wrong. Arete was a water nymph and in love with Apollo, who made her no return, so she pined away, sitting all day long upon the cold ground, with her unbound tresses streaming over her shoulders. Night day she sat her tasty needful no drink, her own tears and the tree dew her only food. She gazed on the sun when he rose, and as he passed through his steady course to his setting, he saw no other object. based constantly on him. And as they said, her lips rooted in the ground, her face became a flower which turned on its stem, so as always to face the sun throughout his daily course, for it retained to that extent the feeling of the need from whom it sprang. Justice by Plato, but in reality justice was such as we were describing being concerned, however, not with the outward man but with the inward, which is the true soul and concernment of man. For the just man does not permit the several animals within him to interfere with one another or any of them to do the work of others. He set in order his own inner life, and is his own master and his own law, and act with himself. And when he has found together the three principles within him, which may be compared to the higher low and middle notes of the scale, and the intermediate interval, when he has found all this together, and is no longer many, but has become one entirely temperate and perfectly adjusted nature, then he proceeds to act if he has to act, whether in the matter of property, or in the treatment of the body, or in some affair of politics or private business, always thinking and calling that which preserve and cooperate with this harmonious condition, just and good action, and the knowledge which preside over it, wisdom, and that which at any time impair this condition, he will call unjust action, and the opinion which preside over it, ignorance. On self-discipline by Aristotle, mature and is of two kinds, intellectual and moral. Intellectual virtue springs from and grows from teaching, and therefore need experience and time. Moral virtue comes from habit. They are in us not by nature, not despite of nature, but we are furnished by nature with a capacity for receiving them, and we develop them through habit. This virtue we acquire by first exercising them. As in the case of other arts, whatever we learn to do, we learn by actually doing it. We come to be builders, for instance, by building, and harp players by playing a harp. In the same way, by doing just act, we come to be just. By doing self-control act, we come to be self-control, and by doing brave act, we become brave. How we act in our relation with other people makes us just or unjust. How we face dangerous situations, either accustoming ourselves to fear of competence made us fear of cowardly. Occasion of lust and anger are similar. Some people become self-controlled and patient from their conduct in such situations, and others uncontrolled and passionate. Work and activities produce similar disposition. Therefore, we must give a certain character to our activities. In short, the habits we form from childhood make most one difference, but rather they make all the difference. Moral virtue is a mean that lies between two vices, one of excess and the other of deficiency, and it aims at hitting the mean both in feeling and action. So it is hard to be good, for surely it is hard in each instance to find the mean, just as it is difficult to find a center of a circle. To find the center of a circle, it is easy to get angry or to spend money. Anyone can do that, but to act the right way toward the right person in due proportion, at the right time, for the right reason, and in the right manner. This is not easy, and not everyone can do it. Friendship by Aristotle. The similitude to friendship differ in kind, so do respective feelings and friendship. The species then of friendship are free, in number equal to the object of it, since in the light of each there may be mutual affection, mutual knowledge. Now they who have friendship for one another desire one another's good, according to the motive of their friendship. Accordingly, they whose motive is utility have no friendship for one another really, but only insofar as some good arises to them from one another, and they whose motive is pleasure are in that case. I mean, they have friendship for men of easy pleasantry, not because they are of a given character, but because they are pleasant to themselves. Such friendships are of course very liable to dissolution if the parties do not continue alike. I mean, let the others cease to have any friendship for them when they are no longer pleasurable or useful. Let them expel friendship, which subsist between those who are good, and whose similarity consists in their goodness. For these men wish one another's good in similar ways, insofar as they are good and good they are in themselves. And those are especially friends who wish good to their friends for their sake, because they feel that solely on their own account and not as a mere matter of result. So the friendship between these men continue to succeed so long as they are good, and goodness is not having a principle of permanence, but is probable. Friendship of this kind will be because men of this kind are rare. Besides objective qualification being principle, there is further required time and intimacy for as a purpose sake. Men cannot know one another till they have eaten the requisite quantity of salt together, nor can they in fact admit one another to intimacy, much less be friends, till each has appealed to the other and been proved to be a fit object of friendship. The whose very command and interchange of friendly action may be said to wish to be friends, but they are not so unless they are also proper object of friendship, and majorly known to be such, that is to say, a desire for friendship may arise quickly, but not friendship itself. Of study by Francis Bacon. Study serves for delight, for ornament, and for ability. The chief use for delight is in permanence and retirement, for ornament is in discourse, and for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. For experiment can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one, but the general counsel and the pride and mastering of affairs, based on those that are learning, reading, make a form man, competent, amazing man, and ready and excellent man. And therefore, if a man read little, he had need have a great merit, he compare little. He had need have a pleasant wit, and if he read little, he had need have much cunning to seem to know that he does not. History make men wise, poems witty, the mathematics subtle, mature philosophy, moral great, larger, and retail able to contain. A band studying in memories, nay, there is no stone nor impediment in the way, but may be wrought out by free studies, that as diseases of our bodies may have appropriate exercising. Bowling is good for the stone and red, suited for lungs and breast, gentle walking for the stomach, riding for the head and the leg. Spring by William Shakespeare. When daisies pie and bell dispute, and ladies smile also were white, and cuckoo birds of yellow hue to paint a meadow with delight. The cuckoo land on every tree, marks merry men for losing sea. Cuckoo, 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 a word of fair unpleasing to a merry ear. Driven by an autumn straw, and merry loud and palmer's cry, and turtles sweat and loose and talk, and maidens speak their summer smile. The cuckoo land on every tree, marks merry men for losing he. Cuckoo, 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 a word of fair unpleasing to a merry ear. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by William Shakespeare. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow creep in this petty pace from day to day, to the lesson book of recording time, and all our yesterday had lighted for us, but where today's the day? Out, brick and dog, lights were walking shadow, a poor prayer, let's strut and fled is out upon the stage, and then his turn no more, he is a telltale by an idiot for all sudden feelings, signifying nothing. To be or not to be by William Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that is the question, whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the sins and errors of our nature's fortune, or to take arms against a sea of trouble, and by opposing and then to die to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end. The heartache and the thousand natural shocks, their flesh is here to the flesh is here to teach a consternation, devoutly to bewitch, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream, either surround. For in the state of death, what change may come when we have shot for all this mortal coil, must give us hopes, their self-respect, that makes calamity of so long life, for who bear the whip and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's continually. The pain of despise, love, the lost delay, the incident of office, and the spur, the patient memory of the unworthy text. When he himself made his quarters make, with the bell barking, who battles bear, the ground and sweat under a weary light, but lay the dread of something after death. The undiscovered country from whose birth no traveller return, passes the well, and makes us better bear those selves we have. The flight to others that we know not of, thus conscience does make power of us all, and the certainty of the solution is secretly over the pale pace of thought. An enterprising of great pitch and moment, with it regard the current state right and lose the net of action. In the trip by George Herbert, sweet day, so cold, so calm, so bright, the splendor of the earth and sky, the Jewish with that fall to the for long mustang. Sweet rose, so sweet and great, beats a race, gaze at what his eye, the root is ever in its grand and long mustang. Sweet spring full of sweet day and roses, about with sweet contented life. My music shall see him, road crossing and all mustang. Only a sweet and virtuous soul, like season people never gives, though the whole world turn to cold, then thrifty leaves. On Goodwill by Immanuel Kant. Nothing can possibly be conceived in the world, or even out of it, which can be called good without qualification, except a goodwill. Intelligence, with judgment, and the other talents of the mind, however they may be named, or courage, resolution, perseverance, as qualities of temperament, are undoubtedly good and desirable in many respects, but these gifts of nature may also become extremely bad and mischievous if the will which is to make use of them, and which therefore constitute what is called character, is not good. It is the same with the gift of fortune, power, riches, honor, even health, and the general well-being and contentment, with one condition which is called happiness, inspired pride and open presumption. If there is not a good will to correct the influence of this on the mind, and with it also to rectify the whole principle of acting, and adapt it to its end, the sign of a being who is not endowed with a single future of a pure and good will, enjoy unbroken prosperity, can never give pleasure to an impartial rational spectator. Thus a good will appear to constitute the indispensable condition even of being worthy of happiness. A good will is good not because of what it performs or affects, not by its abstinence from the attainment of some proposed act, but simply by virtue of the volition. That is, it is good in itself and considered by itself. It should be esteemed much higher than all can be brought about by it in favor of any inclination, nay, even of the sum total of all inclination. A red rose by Robert Burns. Oh my love, like a red rose, nest newly sprung in June. Oh my love, like a melody, nest sweetly played in tune. I swear I love my pony, like so deep in love, and I will love thee still, my dear. Till others is gone dry, my dear, and the rose melt with the sun. I will love thee still, my dear, while the sun of light shall run, and fairly well. Not only love and fairly well a while, and I will come again, my love, Lord, it were 10,000 miles. The Declaration of Independence, when in the course of human events it became necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which had connected them with another, and to assume among the power of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's sky entitle them. The same respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. And that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of this end, it is the right of a people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principle and organizing its power in such form as so they shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for life and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evil are sufferable, and to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. when a long chain of abuses and usurpation pursue invariably the same object. If instead a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guard for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these calamities, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is the history of repeated injury and usurpation, but all having indirect object in the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the state to privilege their faith be submitted to a candid war. In every stage of this oppression, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petition has been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may be found a tyrant is unfit to be a ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attention to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow this usurpation, which would invariably interrupt our connection and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold let us behold the rest of mankind. Enemies in war, in peace, friend. We therefore the representative of the United States of America in General Congress assemble, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the record of our intention to, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these United Colonies are in the right of to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all adhesion to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is ought to be totally dissolved, and that a free and independent state. They have full power to levy war, conclude peace, conjure alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent state may oblige to. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortune, and our sacred honor. She was in beauty by George Gordon Byron. She was in beauty like the night of cloudless sky and starless sky, and all that span of dark and bright, meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellow to that tender light, which heaven to gaudy day denied. One shudder more, one rather less, have had impaled the nameless grace, which were in every ribbon trace, also lighten all her face, with so serenely sweet place, how plain, how dear and dwelling place. And on that tree that all that brought so soft, so calm, yet eloquence, the smile that wings, the teams that grow, but tell of the in goodness spare, a mind at peace with overload, a half of star is innocent. We were addressed by George Washington, friend and fellow citizen, the period for a new election of a citizen to administer the executive government of the United States. Being not from this time, and the time actually arrived when your soul must be employed in designating the person who is to be clothed with that important trust, it appeared to me proper, especially as it may conduce to a more distinct expression of a public voice, that I should now apprise you of a resolution I have formed. They can be considered among the number of those out of whom a choice is to be made. The basis of our political system is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government. But the Constitution, which at any time exists to change by explicit and authentic act of the whole people, is secretly obligatory upon all. The very idea of the power and the right of the people to establish government presupposes the duty of every individual to obey the established government. Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. In vain would they make claim the tribute of patriotism, who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness. This forms part of the duties of man and citizen. The mere politician, equally with the pious man, ought to respect and to cherish them, but them could not treat of their connection with private and public felicity. Let it simply be asked, what is the security for poverty, for reputation, for life? Is the sense of religious obligation, these are the oaths which are the instrument of investigation in courts of justice, and that of agriculture indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion. Whatever may be conceded to the influence of refined education on minds of peculiar structure, reason and expect that national morality and prevail in its culture of religious principle. It is substantially true that virtue of morality is a necessary spring of popular government. The law indeed is stained with more or less fault to every species of free government. Who that is a sincere friend to it can look with indifference upon attempt to shake the foundation of the fabric, promote them as an object of primary important institution for the general diffusion of knowledge. In proportion as the structure of a government gives force to public opinion, it is essential that public opinion should be enlightened, observe good faith and justice to all nations, cultivate peace and harmony with all religion and morality, enjoy this conduct, and can it be that good policy does not equally enjoy it. It will be worthy of a free, enlightened, and at no distant period a great nation to give to mankind the magnanimous and to noble example of a people always guided by an exalted justice and benevolence. The great rule of conduct for us in regard to foreign nations is in extending our commercial relations to have with them as little political connection as possible. So far as we have already formed engagement, let them be fulfilled with perfect good faith. Here let us not Europe has a set of permanent interests which to us have none or a very remote relation, while by interweaving our destiny with that of any people, entangle our peace and prosperity in the toils of European ambition, never seek interest in my own caprice. Though in reviewing the incident of my administration, I am unconscious of intentional error. I am nevertheless too sensible of my defect, not to think it probable that I may have committed many errors. Whatever they may be, I committed the Almighty to or mitigate the evil to which they may tend. I shall also carry with me the hope that my country will never cease to view them with indulgence, and that after 45 years of my life dedicated to its service with an upright zeal, the faults or incompetent ability will be consigned to obedience as myself, but soon be to a mission of rest. Relying on its kindness in this as in other things, and actuated by the fervent love toward it, which is so natural to a man who builds in it the native soil of himself and his progenitor for several generations. I anticipate with pleasing expectation the retreat in which I promise myself to realize without alone the sweet enjoyment of partaking, in the midst of my fellow citizens, the benign influence of good law under a free government, the ever-favorite object of my heart, and the happy reward of such of our mutual cares, labor, and dangerous. Also, by swing methods visually, the ability normative spirit, the ability to bear with the where to paint the Nepal and share the impulse of life share only they spend they now all uncontrollable if even I was in my boyhood and could be the comrade of that wandering over heaven. As I went to Australia, sky steep, scarcely a vision I would never have striven. As love with me impaired in my soul, need only me as a word a deep account. And fall upon the thorns of light I breathe, a heavy weight of our hatred and bound. Want to let me them days in swift and proud, make me like even as the forest is, why is not deep but falling like its own, the tumult of thy mighty harmony, will take from both a deep a tumult, sweet though in sadness below spirit fails. My spirit belong me impetuous one, germinate the thought of the universe, that with the live to become a new birth. And by the incarnation of this birth scattered, all small and unstinguished heart, edges and spotlight words among mankind, between my deeds to our earth, the champion of a poverty of we, if we no can spring be far behind. All to the Nightingale by John Keats, my heart ached and a jostling of this pain, and saying as lows of hand that I had drunk, or empty songs that appeared to a giant 1 minute pace, and this war has sung. And this the world has sung. 'Tis not through envy of thy happy love, but being so happy in thy happiness. Then now thy wind jars of the tree in some melodious part, of pitching green and shadow numbly, scenes of summer in flow floating east. Oh, for a child of vintage, they have been called a long age in the digital earth. They sing a forward in the country green, dance in the foxhole song and songbird mirth. Or for bigger full of oneself, full of the truth, the blushful hypocrite, with beady bubbles winking at the brain and purple stand bound. They are magic and leave the world unseen, and we leave it away into a forest deep. Fade far away, dissolve and quite forget what love among the days has never known. The world needs the fever and the fret. Here romance sit and hear each other groan, while poses shed a few sadness, grab hairs will yours grow pale and spluttering and die. Were but to think it to be full of sorrow, and later I despair. It's to be full of sorrow, and later I despair. The liberty cannot keep her luscious eye, of newly pine and then beyond tomorrow. Away, for I will fly to lead naturality by Bacchus and his parts, but on the beauty's wing of hosts is full of dark brain, protecting and return. Already with thee tender is the night, and heavenly the queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by all her starry flames. But here there is no light, save one from heaven is with the blessed sprung. So murderous, grown and winding mousy way, and cannot see what flowers are at my feet. None was so inside hand upon about, but in bound darkness gates each street. Well, with the seasonable mountain down, the grass of the key and the fruit tree wild, one whole stone and the pastoral eglantine, place bedding valleys cover up in this, and me made eldest shore. The coming must walk for between one, the murmurous hum of flies on summer east. Darkening I listen, and for many a time I had been in love with its beauty. Heard his song then in many amusement, to take into the air my craft breath. No more than ever seen it reach time to seize upon the midnight with no pain, while now outpouring for thy south of your indulgent ecstasy. So wouldst thou sing, and I have ears in vain, to thy high requiem become a song. Now was thou born for thy immortal birth, no hungry generation tread thee down. The voice I heard this passing night was heard, the ancient dead by emperor and crown. But has a south and song that found a path through the sea hall of blue, when safe for home, she stood in tears amid the ancient corn. The sand had that old time had charmed magic casement, opening on the phone. Oh, Perseus, it very length for long the very word is like a bell to turn me back from me to myself. A jewel of fancy cannot choose so well, or should is meant to do deceiving out. Adieu, like painting face and paste the mere metal over the silk sheet. On the hillside, I noticed very deep in the next valley ground, was in a vision or a waking dream, but is the music that I wake or sleep. I remember, by Thomas Hood, I remember the house where I was born, a little window where the sun can be peeping and more. It never came a wind to snow nor brought to the attack, but now I often wish that night had brought my breath away. I remember the roses red and white, the violets and lily cups, those flowers made of light, the days for the robin built and wore my father said, then the burner on his breast said, the tree is living yet. I remember where I was used to swing, and though the air must rush us fast to swallows on the wing. The cereal food and feathers that net is so heavy now, and summer poor could hardly cool the fever on my brow. I remember the first tree starting high. I used to think the center tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance, but not difficult to know I fell off from heaven. Then when I was a boy, suddenly from the Portuguese 14 by the suburban bunny. And thou must have me that it before no, except for love, say only do not say I love her for her smile, her look, her way, or speaking gently for a tree of thought. Therefore, in well with man and so this brought a sense of presence is on such a day, for these things in themselves below may be changed. Or change for thee and love so long may be unransomed. Neither love me for thine own dear pity, wiping my cheeks dry, a creature might forget to wait, who born like comfort long and lose my love thereby, but love me for love's sake, there evermore, now may serve us to love eternity. The Son of Life by Henry Watts was long follow, to me not in known for numbers, that is but an empty dream, for the soul is dead and slumber, and things are not what they seem, that is real, that is earning, and the great is not its goal. The sun out to dust returns was not spoken of the soul, no enjoyment and no sorrow is out there sin and aware, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. All is stone and time is fleeting, and all hollow star and breath, still like muffled drums are beating, funeral marches to the grave. In the world profile of battle in the bivouac of life, be not like down-driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, however present, let the day pass, there is that X in the living present, how we think and God or hate. Lies of great men of remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us repeat on the sense of time, repeat never has another sadly unless on the man of follow and shipwrecked by the sea should take heart again. Let us not be undoing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. The jazz at Gettysburg by Abraham Lincoln, 47 years ago, our father brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to a proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, tasting whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. When I made on a great battlefield of the war, we had come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense. We cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggle here have consecrated it, but above our poor power to act or to detract. The world will little know, don't remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us the living matter to be dedicated here to the unfinished work, which have they who fall here had thus far so nobly obeyed. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task and need before us. We found this honor that we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the less full measure of devotion, that we have highly resolved that this day shall not have done in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people by the people and for the people, by the people for the people shall not perish from the earth. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness, it was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity, it was a season of light, it was a season of darkness. It was a spring of hope, it was a winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like a pleasant period, then some of its noisy authority insisted on its being received for good or for evil, in the supernality degree of comparison only. I died for beauty, but I'm really concerned. I died for beauty, but was scared of just seeing a truth. When one who died for truth was there in an adjoining room. He questioned softly what I felt for beauty. I replied, and I for truth, the truth are one, we brethren are, he said. And so a king made a net with top between the rooms until the mountain reached out these and covered our men. And looked into my glass by Thomas Hardy. I looked into my glass and built my wasting skin and said, O God, it came to pass, my heart has strong esteem. For then I understood my heart swung cold to me, who lonely waits by endless threats with equanimity, but time to make me great by still the paradise, and share this legend for it is the rubbing of noontide. Straight Burn by Robin Jonas Tagore. Shepherd of summer come to my window to sing and fade away, and yellow leaves of autumn which had no song flutter and fall there with a sigh. If you should tell when you miss the sun, you also miss the stars. What language is that? Oh, say the language of eternal question. What language is the answer of sky, the language of eternal silence? Listen, my heart, to a whisper of a word with which it made love to you. They explore the shadow before them, who carry the legend on their back. That I exist is a perpetual supply which is life. His own morning, and no supply to God. The bird which is even a cloud, the cloud which is even a bird. Do not bring your food because you have no appetite. The fish in the water is silent, the animal on its earth is noisy, the bird in the air is singing, but man has seen him. The silence of the sea, the noise of the earth, and the music of the air. God finds himself by creating. That is given to us, we earn it by giving it. We come near to the grave when we are great in humanity. Tiny grace, you stay are small, but you possess the earth under your tread. The infant form often bestowed and Christ still what peace do not fade. God grows weary of great kingdom. Weary of great kingdom, but never of little flowers. We read a wrong and say that it deceits us. You are a big jar of joy under a lotus leaf. Under the lotus leaf, I am the sun, swallow one on his other side. Said the dewdrop to the lake. Be still, my heart. These great trees are prayer. Do not linger to gather flowers to keep them, but walk on, for flowers will keep themselves blooming of your way. Appeal to America by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. In my opinion, the Indian struggle for freedom bears in its consequences not only upon India and England, but upon the whole world. It contains 1/5 of the human race. It represents one of the most ancient civilizations. It has tradition handed down from tens of thousands of years, some of which, to the establishment of the world, remain intact. No doubt the ravage of time has affected the purity of that civilization, as they have that of many other cultures and many institutions. If India is to revive the glory of her ancient past, she can only do so when she attains her freedom. The reason for the struggle having drawn the attention of the world and known does not lie in the fact that we Indians are fighting for our liberty, but in the fact the means adopted by us for attaining that liberty are unique, and as far as history shows us, have not been adopted by any other people of whom we have any record. The means adopted are not violence, not bloodshed, not diplomacy, as one understands it nowadays. but they are purely and simply true and non-balanced. No wonder that the attention of the world is directed toward this attempt to dig a successful bloodless revolution. Hitherto, nations have fought in the manner of a brook. They have wreaked vengeance upon those whom they have considered to be their enemy. We find in such national anthem authority by great nations that they contain implications upon the so-called enemy. They have vowed destruction and have not hesitated to take the name of God and seek divine assistance for the destruction of the enemy. We in India have endeavored to reverse the process. We felt that the law that governs procreation is not the law that should guide the human race. The law is inconsistent with human dignity. I personally await any bid for ages rather than seek to attain the freedom of my country through bloody means. I felt in the innermost of my heart that a political experience is sending over an unbroken period of close upon 35 years. That the world is sick unto death of blood spilling, the world is seeking a way out, and I flattered myself with the belief that perhaps it would be the privilege of the ancient land of India to show the way out to the hungry world. Chinese and Western civilization contrasted by Bertrand Russell. There is present in China a close contact between our civilization and that which is native to the celestial empire. It is still a doubtful question whether this contact will build a new civilization that's better than either of its parents, or whether it will merely destroy the native culture and replace it by that of America. Contacts between different civilizations have often in the past proved to be landmark in human progress. Greece learned from Egypt, Rome from Greek, the Earth from the Roman Empire, medieval Europe from the Earth, and Renaissance Europe from the Byzantine. In many of these cases, the pupil proved better than their masters. In the case of China, if we regard the Chinese as the pupils, this may be the case again. In fact, we have quite as much to learn from them as they from us, but there is foundation of our learning. If I treat the Chinese as our pupils rather than vice versa, it is only because I feel we are unteachable. Western Europe and America have a practically homogeneous mental life, which I should trace through three sources. 1. Greek culture, 2. Jewish religion and ethics, 3. Modern industrialism, which is an outcome of modern science. We may interpret the Old Testament as Galileo as representing these three elements, which have remained singularly separable down to the present day. From the Greeks we derive literature and the arts, philosophy and pure mathematics, also the more urban portion of our social outlook. From the Jews we derive political belief, which is Frank's whole faith, moral fervor, with a conception of sin, religion, intolerance, and some part of our nationalism. From science as applied in industrialism, we derive power and the sense of power. The belief that we are a God and may justly be the arbiter of life and death for our unscientific races. We derive also the empirical method by which almost all real knowledge has been acquired. These three elements, I think, account for most of our mentality. When I went to China, I went to teach, but every day that I stayed. And so less of what I had to teach them and more of what I had to learn from them. Among Europeans who had lived a long time in China, I found this attitude not uncommon. But among those who stay in short or who go only to make money, it is certainly real. It is real because the Chinese do not excel in the things really value. Military power is an industrial enterprise, but those who value wisdom or beauty, or even the simple enjoyment of life, will find more of these things in China than in the distracted and turbulent West, and will be able to live where something are valued. I wish I could hope that China, in return for our scientific knowledge, make it of something of a lost tolerance and contemplative peace of mind. The idea of democracy by Karl L. Baker. All human institutions, we are told, have their ideal forms that await in heaven, and we do not need to be told that the actual institution conform but indifferently to these ideal counterparts. It would be possible then to define democracy either in terms of the ideal form or the ideal original. Either in terms of the ideal or in terms of the real form, to define it as government of the people, by the people, for the people, or to define it as government of the people by the politicians for whatever pressure groups can get their interests taken care of. But as a historian, I am naturally disposed to be satisfied with the meaning which, in the history of politics, may have commonly attributed to the war, a meaning needless to say, which derives partly from the experience and partly from the aspirations of mankind. Regarding the term democracy, it refers primarily to a form of government, and it has always meant government by the many, as opposed to government by the one, government by the people, as opposed to government by a tyrant, a dictator or absolute monarch. This is a more general meaning of a word, as men have commonly understood it. The road not taken by robbery first. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it went in the underground, and to the other as just as far, and having perhaps a better ground because it was grassy and wanted well, though as for like the passenger, and really then wrong and really about the same. Though as for like the passenger, then wrong and then wrong then really about the same. Then wrong then really about the same. Then wrong and more. And having perhaps a better ground because it was grassy and wanted well. Well, as for the passenger, had one that really about the same, and both and money equally that indeed no stand and trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Then knowing how well this unto well, I doubt if I should ever come back, I should be telling this with a sign. Somewhere edges and edges tend to roll diverge in a wood, and to the one that traveled back, and there a smell of the difference. Fire and ice by robbery from sunset the world were in fire, sunset in ice from what I tasted of this. I hope we lost forever, but the evening has so very sight, I think I not enough of her to say that for destruction I did also grant and was a fact. The report on the miracle of Dunkirk by Winston Churchill. I have myself full confidence that if all Julia duty is nothing, if nothing is neglected, and if the best arrangement are made, a set of big men, we shall put ourselves once again able to defend our island home, right out the stone of war and to outlive the manners of tyranny. It's necessary for years, it's necessary alone, and anyway, that is what we are going to try to do. And it's the result of His Majesty, government. Every man of land, there is a war of parents and a nation. The British Empire and the French Republic, linked together in their cause and in their need, will defend to the day their native soil, aiding each other like good comrades to the utmost of their strength. Even though the shore of Europe and many old infamous states have fallen or may fall into the grip of the Gestapo and all the odious apparatus of Nazi Europe, we shall not fail or fail, we shall go on to the end, we shall fight in France, we shall fight under sea and ocean, we shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whether the coast may be. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing ground, we shall fight in the hills and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender, and even if which I do not for a moment believe. In the hills and in the streets, we shall fight. In the hills, we shall never surrender. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing ground, we shall fight in the hills and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender. And even if which I do not for a moment believe this island or a large part of it was subjugated and starving. Then our empire beyond the sea, out and guarded by British fleet, will carry on the struggle until in God's good time the new world with all its powers and might step forward to the rescue and liberation of the old. I resolved to become a jungle doctor by advisor. On October 13, 1905, a Friday, I dropped into a letterbox in the Avenue de la Grande Armée in Paris. Letter to my parents and to some of my most intimate acquaintances, telling them that at the beginning of the winter term I should enter myself as a medical student, in order to go later on to actuarial Africa as a doctor. The plan which I meant now to put into execution had been in my mind for a long time. Having been conceived so long ago as my student days, it struck me as incomprehensible that I should be allowed to lead such a happy life, while I saw so many people around me were in care and suffering. Even at school, I had felt stuck whenever I got a glimpse of the miserable homes surrounding of some of my school fellows, and compared with the absolutely ideal condition in which the children of a parsonage at Grundsbach live while at the university and enjoy the happiness of being able to study, even to produce some result in science and art. I could not help thinking continually of others who were denied their happiness by their material circumstances of their health. Then one previous Sunday morning, I settled with myself before I got up. That I would consider myself justified in living till I was 30 for science and art, in order to devote myself from that time forward to the direct service of humanity. Many a time already have I tried to settle one meaning that he done for me in the sight of Jesus. Whosoever would say his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel shall save it. Now the answer was found. In addition to the outward, I now had inward happiness. Fact by Carls and Bird. The comes a little cafe and says looking over her bed sitting on 700 and then moves on. The decline of the West by outward speaker, I see in place of the anti-female of one linear history, which can only be carried out by shutting one's eyes to the overwhelming multitude of the fact, the drama of a number of mighty cultures, each being with plenty strength from the soil of the region, to which it remains firmly bound throughout its whole life cycle. Its being its material, its mankind, its own image, each having its own idea, its own passion, its own life, while unveiling its own death. Here indeed are characterized movements. Then no intellectual eye has yet discovered. Here the culture, people, language, choose God, landscape, grand age, as the old and the stone pine, the blossom. Twist and leaves, but there is no age to mankind. Age in mankind, each culture has its own new possibility of self-expression, which arise, rapid decay, and never return. There is no one sculpture, one painting, one mathematics, one basic, but many. Each individual essence different from the other, each limited in duration and soul content, just as each species of plant has a peculiar blossom of fruit, a special time of growth and decline. These cultures supplemented life essence, one with the plant support endlessly as the fall of a bell, making known neither plant any animal to the living nature of culture, and not to the dead nature of Newton. And see what history as a picture of endless formation and transformation, of the marvelous waxing and waning of organic form. The professional historian on the contrary see it as the soul of temporal industriously, adding unto itself one epoch after another, leads it inward and outward fulfillment. The finality, the always living culture. This is the purport of all the historic decline. Amongst them the decline of the classical, which is not so well and fully, another decline entirely comparable to it in course and duration, which will occupy the first century of the coming millennium, but his heritage already ancestral in and around today. The decline of the West agriculture passes through the age phase of the individual, where each has his childhood, youth, manhood, and old age. General MacArthur prayers for his son. But Douglas MacArthur bear me a son alone who will be strong enough to know when he is weak, and brave enough to face himself when he is afraid. One who will be proud and unbending in honest defeat and humble and gentle victory. Bear me a son whose wishes will not take the place of deeds, a son who will know thee, and that to know himself is the foundation stone of knowledge. Lead him, I pray, not in the path of ease and comfort, but under the strain and spell of difficulties and challenges. Here let him learn to stand out in the storm. Here let him learn affection for those who fail. Bear me a son whose heart will be clear, whose goal will be high, a son who will master himself before he seeks to master other men, one who will reach into the future and never forget the past, and after all these things are his aid. I pray in love of a sense of humor, so that he may always be serious and never take himself too seriously. Give him humility, so that he may always remember the simplicity of true greatness, the open mind of true wisdom, and the meekness of true strength. That I, his father, will dare to whisper, I have not living back. Say that to see, but Helen, how was it possible? I asked myself to walk forward, observe and see nothing worthy of note. I who cannot say 500 of things to interest me through mere touch. I felt the delicate symmetry of a leaf. I placed my hand gently about the smooth skin of a silver birch, of the rusty bark of a pine. In the spring I touched the branches of trees, hopefully in search of a bird. The first sign of awakening nature after her winter sleep. I felt the delightful velvety texture of a flower, and discovered its remarkable convolution, and something of the miracle of nature is revealed to me occasionally. If I am very fortunate, I place my hand gently on a small tree and feel the happy quiver of a bird in full song. I am delighted to have the cool water of a brook flash through my open finger. To me, a large carpet of pine needle or spongy grass is more welcome than the most luxuriant Persian rug. To me, the pageant of season is a thrilling and unending drama, the action of which streams through my fingertips. At times my heart cries out with longing to see all these things. if I can get so much pleasure from mere touch? How much more beauty must be revealed by sight, yet those who have eyes apparently see little. The panorama of color and action which fills the world is taken for granted. It is human perhaps to appreciate little that which we have, and to long for that which we have not. But it is a great pity that in the world of life the gift of sight is used only as a mere convenience rather than as a means of aiding from means to life. For freedom, by Franklin D. Roosevelt. In the future day which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedom. The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world. The third is freedom from want, which society into war turns means economic understanding, which was secured to every nation a healthy peace and life for its inhabitants everywhere in the world. The fourth is freedom from fear, which society into war turns means a worldwide reduction of armaments to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor anywhere in the world. There is no vision of a distant millennium. It is a definite basis for a kind of world attainable in our own time and generation. That kind of world is the very antithesis of the so-called new order of tyranny, which the dictator seek to create with the crash of a bomb. To that new order, we oppose a greater conception, the moral order. A good society is able to face scheme of a world domination, a foreign revolution alike without fear. Since the beginning of American history, we have been engaged in training in a perpetual peaceful revolution, a revolution which goes on steadily, quietly adjusting itself to changing conditions without concentration camp or the quicksand in the ditch. The world order which we seek is the cooperation of free countries, working together in a friendly civilized society. This nation has placed its destiny in the hands and hearts of its millions of free men and women, and its faith in freedom under the guidance of God. Freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. All support goes to those who struggle to get no sword or keep land. All strength is in unity of purpose, so that hand comes and there can be no end. Say victory. Children, black cub, brown and a woman who held a ban against opposition. She to us for children, and he said, your children are not your children. They are the son and daughter of light, though it's for its son. They come to you, but not from you, and though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your soul. For they have their own soul. You will have their bodies, but not your soul, not their soul, for they are soldiers in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dream. You may try to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor perish with yesterday. You are the bow from which your children are sleeping arrow are sent forth. The archer seizes the mark upon a taste of the infinite, and he bends with his mind that his arrow may go straight and far. Then you are bending in the archer's hand before greatness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. I believe by Albert Einstein. Strange is our situation here upon earth. Each of us comes for a show busy not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming to divide a purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know, that man is here for the sake of other men, above all for those upon whose well and well-being our own happiness depend, and also for the company's unknown soul with whose faith we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Many times a day I realize how much an unaltered and life is built upon the labor of my fellow men. Both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received. My peace of mind is often troubled by the depressing sense that I have bound to have lived from the work of other men. I do not believe we can have any freedom at all in the philosophical sense, for we are not only under external compulsion but also by inner necessity. Schopenhauer saying, a man can choose what he wants to do, but he cannot determine what he wants. Impress itself upon me in you. It has always consoled me when I have witnessed or suffered like hardship. This conviction is a perpetual builder of tolerance, for it does not allow us to take ourselves or others too seriously. It makes matter for a sense of humor to ponder interminably over the reason for one's own existence or the meaning of life. In general, seems to me, from an objective point of view, to be straightforward, and yet everyone holds certain ideal by which he guides his exploration and his judgment. The ideal which I always shown before me, and for me with the joy of living a goodness, beauty, and truth, to make a goal of comfort or happiness. All happiness has ever appeared to me. A system of escape on this basis would be sufficient only for a herd of cattle. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand real in art. It's a good state is as a clock. The insight into the mystery of life, coupled though it be with fear, and also give a resurrection to know that what is impenetrable to us really is manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our faculty can comprehend only in the most primitive form. This knowledge leads is at the center of true religiousness. In this sense and in this sense only, I belong in the ranks of the utterly religious men. The old man the sea by Ernest Hemingway. Could the old man say he pitied the relation of the oars unto the snow pins, and leaning far against the stars of the blaze in the water, he began to row out of the harbor in the dark. There were other boats from the other beaches going out to sea, and the old man heard the dip and push of their oars, even though he could not see that now the moon was full of hills. Sometimes someone would speak in a boat. The mouth of the boat was silent, except for the dip of the oars. Then spread apart after they were out of the mouth of the harbor, and each one headed for the part of the ocean where he hoped to find fish. The old man knew he was going far out, and he left the smell of the land behind, and rode out into the clean early morning smell of the ocean. In the dark, the old man could feel the morning coming, and as he rode, he heard the trembling sound. A fine fish left the water, and the hastening the ships stayed with them as they saw away in the darkness. He was very fond of fine fish, as they were his visible friend on the ocean. He was sorry for the birds, especially the small delicate ducks. They were always fine and looking, and almost never finding, and he thought the birds had a harder life than we do, except for the rubber birds and the heavy strong ones. Why did they make birds so delicate and fine as those sea swallows when the ocean can be so cool? She is kind and very beautiful, but she can be so cold, and it comes so suddenly, and such friendly flight, dipping and hunting with their small sad voices are made too delicately for the sea. Gone with the wind, but Margaret Mitchell, the sun was not below the horizon, and the red glow and the ring of the world faded into pink. The sky after turned slowly from azure to the delicate blue-green of the overlapping egg and the unearthing stillness of the raw twilight came steadily down about her, shadowing the mist over the countryside. The red flowers and the greyish red round dogs, the magical brown color, and became plain brown earth. Across the road in the pasture, the horses, milk and cows. So quietly we hang over the swivel fence, waiting to be driven to the stable and supper. They did not like the dash of the thicket hedging the pasture creek, and they twitched their air escalate as it appreciated of human companionship. In the stretched headland, the tall pines of the river swung so warmly green in the sunshine were black against the pastel sky, an impenetrable row of black giants heading the stone yellow water at their feet. In the hill across the river, the tall white chimney of the whale's home faded gradually into the darkness of the thick oak surrounding them. And only far pinpoint of Sutherland shows that the house was here. The warm dampness of spring encompassed her swiftly, with the moist smell of new brown earth and all the fresh green things pushing out to the air. Sunset and spring and new fresh greenery were no miracle to Scarlet. The beauty should upset as cordially as the air she breathed and the water she drank, for she had never consciously seen beauty in anything but women's faces, horses, so dressing, and like tangible things. Yet the soothing headlight of a Taylor volcano aircraft brought a measure of quiet to her distant mind. She loved this land so much without even knowing she loved it as she loved her mother's land under a land and pale time. The art of scientific investigation by William I.B. Parrish. Albert Einstein distinguished three types of research workers: those who take art science because it offers them an opportunity to exercise their particular talents, and who exalt in it as an athlete enjoys exercising his prowess; those who regard it as a means of livelihood, and who but for circumstances might have become successful businessmen; and lastly, the true devotees who are real but make a contribution to knowledge out of proportion to their numbers. Some psychologists consider that man's best work is usually done under adversity, and that mental strength and even physical pain may act as a mental stimulant. Any problem may have suffered from psychological troubles and various difficulties, but for which perhaps they would never have performed the effort required to excel. The scientist seldom gets a large monetary reward for his effort, so he should be freely granted any just fame arising from his work. But the greatest reward is the thrill of discovery. As many scientists attest, it is one of the greatest joys that life has to offer. It gives a tremendous emotional uplift and great sense of well-being and satisfaction. Not only factual discovery, but the sudden realization of a generalization can give the same feeling of exhilaration. As Prince Kropotkin wrote, he who has once in his life experienced the strength of scientific creation will never forget it. The inaugural address by John F. Kennedy in your hand, my fellow citizens, more than in mine will raise the final success or failure of our cause. Since this country was founded, a generation of Americans has been someone to give testimony to its national loyalty. The crest of young America who answer the call to service around the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear on no arms we need, not as a call to battle though in battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemy of man. Tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself, can we forge against this enemy? A grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, they can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind. Will you join in the historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted The role of defending freedom is our maximum danger. I do not shrink from the responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would each place with that of any part, or any other people, or any other generation. The energy, the faith, and devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it, and the growth from the fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, when you are citizens of America, has been or citizens of the world, ask of us the same high standard of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you with a good conscience our only sure reward. With history, the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land with love, asking his blessing and his help, and knowing that here on earth God will much be our own. The theory of justice by John Rawls. Justice is the first virtue of social institution, a truth is of system of thought. A theory, however elegant and economical, must be rejected or revised if it is untrue. Likewise, laws and institutions, no matter how efficient and well arranged, must be reformed or abolished if they are unjust. Each person possesses an inviolability from the injustice that even the welfare of society as a whole cannot override. For this reason, justice denies that the laws of freedom for some it may right by a greater good share by others. It does not allow that the sacrifices imposed on a few are outweighed by the larger sum of advantage enjoyed by many. Therefore, in a just society, the liberty of equal citizenship are taken as settled. The rights secured by justice are not subject to political bargaining or to the calculus of social interest. The only thing that permits us to acquiesce in an erroneous theory is that of a better one. An elegant state and injustice is tolerable. Only when it is necessary to avoid and prevent greater injustice. Being first virtue of human activities, truth and justice are uncompromising. This proposition seems to express our intuitive conviction of the primacy of justice. No doubt that I expect too strongly. In any event, I wish to inquire whether these conditions or others similar to them are sound, and if so, how they can be accountable to this. It is necessary to work out a theory of justice, in the light of which this assertion can be interpreted and assessed. I have a dream. By Martin Luther King, I say to today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It's a dream detailed in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold this truth to be so evident that all men are created equal. That I have a dream that one day on the red hill of Georgia, the son of former slave and the son of former slave owner will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a desert state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream today. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with vicious racist, with a government having his lip dripping with the war of interposition and nullification. One day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls, sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, and rude places will be and rough places will be made plain, and crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. Let's leave San Francisco by Richard Bach. It was morning, and new sun sparkled gold across the ripple of a gentle sea. A man from shore of fishing boats charmed the water, and the word for breakfast flashed through the air till a crowd of 1,000 seagulls came to dance and fight for beasts of food. It was another busy day beginning, but way off alone, all by himself beyond boat and shore, Jonathan Livingston Seagull was practicing. 100 feet in the sky, he lowered his webbed feet, lifting his feet, and strained to hold a painful hard quicksand curve through his wing. The curved man that he would fly slowly, and now he slowed until the wind was a whisper in his face, until the ocean stood still beneath him. He narrowed his eyes in fierce concentration, held his breath, both one single mile each of current, and then his spirit rumbled, he stopped and felt seagull, as to know, never falter, never stop. To soar in the air is for land disgrace and it is dishonor. But Jonathan Livingston Seagull, unchained, stretching his wings again in that trembling hard curve, soaring slowly and slowly once more, was no ordinary bird, no scout of fire to the more, and the simplest fact of fact, how to give from shore to foot and back again. For most God, it is not flying that matter but eating. For this scholar, it was not eating that matter but flight. More than anything else, Jonathan Livingston Seagull loved to fly. This kind of thinking he found is not the way to make oneself popular with other birds. Even his parents were dismayed, as Jonathan spent whole day alone making hundreds of low-level guys experimenting. Lyrics. Morning has broken. Morning has broken. Like the first morning paper has broken, like the first bird, place for the sea, place for the morning, place for the spring, place from the walls to the rest, new falls sunlight from heaven, like the first to fall on the first square, place for the sweetness of a way garden, sprung in completeness while his feet pace. Night is the sunlight, night is the morning, born over one night, it so place with elation, place every morning, God's creation of a new day. Otherwise. Every morning you greet me small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me, blossom your snow, may your brain grow forever, otherwise, make my home there forever. Sunrise, sunset, is this a little girl I carry, is this a little boy I pray, I don't remember growing older. When did she get to be a beauty, when did he grow to be so tall, wasn't it yesterday when there was more sunrise, sunset, sweet tea, flow the taste. Leading time overnight to sunflower blossoming, even as we get sunrise, sunset, sweet tea, by the ear. One season body, another later with heavenly and tears. What words of wisdom can I give them? How can I help to ease their way now? They must learn from one another day by day. They do so natural together, just not to the way it should be. Is there all kind of peace and stuff for me? Silver among the gold, darling, I am going out. Silver among the gold, shine upon my brow today. Night is fading fast away, but my darling, you will be always and fair to me. Yes, my darling, you will be always and fair to me. When your hair is silver white, and your cheeks no longer bright with the roses of the May, I will kiss slowly and say, oh my darling, my alone, you had never outgrown. Yes, my darling, my alone, you had never outgrown. No service stuff, no schoolgirls, they all totally tails and biting nails are gone. But in my mind, I know they will slowly on and on. But how do you think someone who has taken you from crown to perfume? It isn't easy, but I'll try. If you wanted a sky, I'd ride across the sky in letter that would soar 1,000 feet high to serve with love. The time has come for crossing both and loneliness must end. And as I live, I know that I am living my best friend, a friend who told me right from wrong and weak from strong. Then allowed to learn what can I give you in return? If you wanted more, I would try and make a start, but I would rather you let me give my heart to serve with love.